on a topic that is paramount to the success of every business owner: consistency. In the fast-paced world of business, where trends come and go, challenges are ever present, consistency stands as the principle that determines the success of a business, a visionary. Before we go ahead, this is my third time of being here. I was here 2021, I was here 2022, and I'm here 2023. So it's consistency. So how many of you have been attending the summit for the past 4 years they've organized it? This is the fourth time. How many? I'm just seeing one person. So you attended before. I believe after today's presentation, you will make it a point of duty to be consistent, because you all agree with me that we have brilliant facilitators. They've done justice to the topic, consistency. And like one of the participants mentioned, that it's like we are repeating ourselves. But what makes this stand out is the different experience that we bring to the table. So before I go in, I want us to understand that consistency is a strategy that plays an important role in different spheres of endeavor, whether it's physical well-being, entertainment, education, whatever field you're operating on. In sports, you believe that you need to train all the time. If you're a gym rat, you need to go to the gym consistently, not just once in a year. You go every day to have that fit body to stand out. And a good example of that is a champion, Cristiano Ronaldo. He said in his quote, "To me, being the best means proving it in different countries and championships." So it's not about getting it the first time and being the best the first time, but it's about consistency in trying to be the best all the time. Then in spiritual life, because I'm a Christian, our Lord Jesus made it emphasized on getting results when you're persistent. He used the parable of a friend who was knocking at the door of the neighbor to ask for help. So the neighbor did not want to give him that, but he was consistent in knocking, asking. And the neighbor said, "In fact, I'm just going to answer you, not because I want to do that, but to have my peace." So it means that if you're strategic and intentional in what you have decided to be consistent about, you're going to get results. Then in entertainment, I know some of us are into entertainment here. They want to release a hit song. They want to make the audience feel pleasured. They want to make the audience happy. So it's a constant journey. Jay-Z in his quote said, "Excellence is being able to perform at a high level over and over again." You can hit a half-court shot once. That's just the luck of the draw. If you consistently do it, that is excellence. And I believe the reason why we are here is because we want to stand out. We want to be excellent. We want to be successful. We want to be the best we can be. And we cannot achieve all that if we're not consistent. I'm a business lawyer, passionate. I'll tell my story. Some of you may have heard, but since it's just one person that has been consistent in the summit, I will share it. After I was called to the bar, I've always been very ambitious, determined to succeed. I was privileged to work with the Ministry of Justice as a legal counsel. I was doing my work diligently, having dreams around the ministry, how I'm going to be recommended and I'm going to climb the career ladder and grow. Then the director then saw how diligent I was and recommended me to a judge. So I became her judicial assistant. So as a judicial assistant, I was delivering my job excellently. Wow. You know, as a mom, I'm a mom of 4. Bible. So work-life balance is a thing. And at the time, my judge is a very brilliant lady, woman. She's very advanced and experienced. So my dream was around her that if I do my work very well, she's going to recommend me, she's going to send me to different organizations. From there, I'm going to grow. So I was building it around it. But at that time, I became pregnant. So I saw the countenance and all that. So after I had my baby, I wasn't called back. Because of course there is competition. Everybody wants to succeed. So I started hunting for a job. I was hunting, looking for a job, like where am I going to start from? Then, at that point, I looked into myself and said, Agatha, what do I have? I saw that I have the requisite knowledge and skill to deliver excellent legal services. I saw that I'm a person of integrity, someone who wants to be successful, someone who wants to stand out and do my job very well. And I looked around and said, what problem do I have to solve? And I saw that based on unemployment in our country, Nigeria, so many youths were becoming entrepreneurs, so many youths were becoming business owners, and most of them were doing it unguided. They didn't know their left and the right. I said, oh, and they come to me to seek legal counsel. I said, I have the knowledge, I have the capacity to help them ensure that they start their business right, be legally protected, and grow their brand. I looked around, what tools are available with me? I saw that social media, all youth, everybody here is on Instagram, right? If you're not on Instagram, you're on Facebook. If you're not on Facebook, you're on LinkedIn. So this Gen age, we're in a digitally transformed age. So I seized that space and started creating awareness about legal services. I started with sharing knowledge, teaching people freely, and they come to me for legal advice. Then, in the small comfort of, I was hunting for a job, I didn't have a job. So I was doing all this in my sitting room, small, with the available resources around me, a computer, an old computer there. And I will tell you, honestly, frankly speaking, that within a year or two, as at 2019, I realized my first 7 million naira out of diligently, consistently delivering legal services and doing the job. So after then, from being a self-employed, I moved to my office space. I became an employee of labor. I had my staff, their hair, my employees. And to tell you that since I started Agatha Legal, officially 2019 to date, there's never been a time that I have to be idle. We always have work to clear. And this work to clear is as a result of what I've been putting in, which is delivering results. Now, in proceeding, I'm going to be sharing 5 strategies that when you apply and you enjoy the story I told you about myself, I'm sure you're going to build a formidable business brand. That living here, your life will not remain the same. The first is customer experience. Please, I want you to say customer experience. Consistently delivering high-quality products or services creates a positive impression on your customers. This fosters trust and loyalty. If people trust you, they will do business with you. It's a different thing that you go, I can do this, this is my product, this is my services, and they patronize you, they buy your product, and when they get home, they are dissatisfied. They will never come back. When you're selling a service, you have to make sure that you're diligent, meticulous in delivering that service. And after that, the customer will be happy and will refer you And when you keep doing that, keep getting referrals, your brand will become a household brand. So it's customer, you have to invest in, you have to be customer-centric. You have to invest in ensuring that you satisfy people who come in contact with you. Whatever, if you're a fashion designer and you have the opportunity to design or sew a beautiful cloth, take your time and do it very well. You will keep having referral. So, from my experience as a lawyer and a problem solver, I've had clients come to me to say, I ordered A, this is what I ordered, and this is what I got. First, there is a breach of contract. A doctor engaged my services. She saw beautiful luxury bags online. She ordered, made payments. By the time the bag got to her, the bag had peeled, looking so old, and the vendor was there still. She had the guts to talk. By the time we filed and demanded, the vendor had to pay full and compensation for the damages. Once, it's a breach of contract. When someone engages you online and you don't deliver, so many people are scamming people's products, they are becoming scammers. Then how do you want to grow your brand if you're just after that one job, if you're just after reaping the client of just one job? Forgetting that that one client can recommend like 50, 20. So we have to be very intentional and look into customer experience. The second one is brand identity. Can I hear you say brand identity? Brand identity. So we so much engage in branding. We invest so much in how we want our brand to be perceived. Branding can be a promise you're making to your customer that if you engage us, this is what you're going to get. Branding, you can have your branding proposition, it could be your brand name, and brand identity is very important, and you have to put in consistency. When you mention some brands like Mac, it rings a bell because they've worked hard to ensure that aside giving you a durable quality product, it's a product that is going to last. I have an iPhone and I've used one for over 3 years, not gone to work on it all, because they understand branding. That is their brand identity, that's their brand message. Now, whatever you're doing, you should ensure that your message, your marketing, your logo, the trade name is duly protected. As a lawyer, I won't talk about branding if I don't talk about the protection, because it won't be nice to go spend so much money in designing a logo to distinguish your brand, telling your brand story, doing social media campaign, running ads, and you don't have exclusive rights over that brand name. So you have to be intentional to ensure that you want to build a formidable brand. You want to build a brand that will have global recognition and relevance. And it has to start from the foundation. Because if the foundation is faulty with the building stand, so the foundation has to be solid. And to have that solid brand, ensure that you follow the legalities around it. I can see Big Cola. When Big Cola comes, it rings a bell. Oh, the drink must be very tasty. You see the logo. When you hear McDonald's, it rings a bell. The Nike, when you see Nike brand. So you have to invest in your logo, your brand story, how you want to distinguish your brand. So Agatha Legal, we've also invested in that because part of our brand story is excellence, diligence. Now, here you have to ask yourself, what is your brand name? Is your brand name secured by virtue of intellectual property law? Is your brand name consistent? So many people make mistakes of having different names. they have this name, they register with the Corporate Affairs Commission, they have this other name, they register, they have this other name. It's inconsistent. And to build one brand needs a lot of money, just like Amazon is one brand. You hear it. Even if they have different products, you have Amazon Prime. Okay, Dangote is a one brand that is international. It doesn't have different names and all that, even if he has, but he has worked on that one brand. So I want us to understand that the protection the Corporate Affairs Commission gives to you is different from the protection you get from Ministry of Trade and Investment. The Corporate Affairs Commission gives you the right to carry on your business. So that's where it stops. But to have the brand protection, which will give you the protection of your logo, your slogan, the trade name, the trademark, the industrial design, is the Ministry of Trade and Investment. So you don't mix it up. We've talked about consistency as a strategy in building, then leadership. You have to be I believe all of us here, we are all leaders. And to assume a position is not because you're the most brilliant, or you're the smartest, or you're the boldest, or you're the most intelligent. Leadership is just an opportunity bestowed on you by grace. So you have to understand that at every point in time. That will help you to attribute your success to God. Because if you attribute your success, you stay humble. And as a leader, your actions and decisions breed trust among your team members. When you see your team doing what they are supposed to do, because they are living living by your examples. You're living out. You're not a leader that just delegates and you don't know the nitty-gritty. So you have to be a leader that leads by example. So leadership is an important aspect that you have to be consistent in. The fourth one is goals. Can I hear goals? Goals are very important. That's why you see almost all the speakers talked about goals. Because to achieve any plan, you must have goals. And to understand goals, there are principles to it. We use the SMART principle. So your goal must be specific. You have to be specific about what you want to achieve. It must be measurable. You have to measure it. It has to be something achievable, action-bound. Then it has to be realistic. Then the last one, time-bound. Any plan or goal without time is useless. So we must make sure that whatever goal we set, we put time to it. Then the last one, which helps me so much, is core values. Core values. Our values influence what we do, how we think, and how we feel about the world around us. When we do or see things that go against our values, we feel sad, bad, or get mad. So you ask yourself, what are your values? Because you can't live a different life. You can't believe in something, and in your action says something else. It means that you're not being consistent. So to achieve consistency and to use it to propel yourself and open the path to greatness, you must ensure that you have consistency in your values. And those values is what you bring in your interaction with people in your business. So if you run a ministry, I'm sure one of your core values is being godly, you're very religious. And it has to be, you have to see it, it has to be discussed among your team members. Then if you run a fashion brand, one of your core values must be elegant. If you run a fashion brand, you must not be caught not being represented, not being dressed well. You must dress very well. So if you're into entertainment, your core values will be making people happy and all that. So core values are important. For us at Agatha Legal, we believe in justice, we believe in fairness, We believe in integrity, reputation, and those core values has helped us. We've been consistent whenever we get any job. So, ladies and gentlemen, I believe with the contributions and the justice that have been done to the topic by my fellow facilitators and my own contribution, you will believe that consistency is not a one-time achievement. It's a continuous journey. So I'm also a work in progress. I'm in that journey, and I believe you're also in that journey. So embrace it in all aspects of your business, and you will find that it's the bedrock upon which you can construct lasting success. So I look forward to seeing you at the top. Thank you.
Thank you very much for that. That was a wonderful presentation. Now, in today's world, there is nothing we do now that does not have a legal backing or a law that is not binding by law. So this is another vital section that I key into so seriously. I wouldn't know. I will entertain some questions. If permitted, Madam Agatha, will you permit if there are any questions? I know there are questions popping up in my mind, so let's just limit it to 2 questions, and if time permits, we can still give other questions. Does anyone have a question for her? Things of legal matters, business-related issues, whatsoever. Do we have any? Do we have any? Alright, so in the absence of none, while the section was going on, we have there's a question. Alright.
Not really a question per se, but I would like her to throw more light into. I'm sure that maybe some of us have registered businesses or what have you, and the requisite remittances, the tax now that we had to pay yearly, we have not paid, and I'm sure that since he's saying something about this time about people losing their names or some stuff, maybe she may just throw more light on.
I need us to know that this is a professional line, and I tell you lawyers, I think this charge per hour. So if this is an opportunity, I can't emphasize less on it. If this is an opportunity given to us, let's make sure that we squeeze the best out of it. You understand? If we were to go see her in a consulting firm, she's going to charge everything. So let everything out of the bag and not extend.
Okay, thank you for that brilliant question. When you register your business with the Corporate Affairs Commission, you become a legal entity. It is a limited liability company. It is a business name. It is a sole proprietorship. So you are now subject to different regulatory bodies. You have the Federal Inland Revenue Service, and you have the Corporate Affairs Commission. So many people mix it up. Federal Inland Revenue Service is different. Their role, they are in charge of tax. While Corporate Affairs Commission is a regulatory body that is in charge of doing business. So you have these 2 regulatory bodies that you're subject to as a registered business. So for tax, FIRS, which is Federal Inland Revenue Service, is a matter of profit. And the good news is that based on the new Finance Bill Act, the law provides that if your annual turnover is not more than 25 million naira, you're not supposed to pay tax. As a startup, just to encourage entrepreneurs that are doing business. If you don't earn more than 25 million, you shouldn't pay tax. However, paying tax is different from filing. You're required to file to FIRS. Now, let's move to Corporate Affairs Commission, because that's the one you talked about. Corporate Affairs Commission is different in the sense that they've been abandoned after you have registered your business. Doesn't mean that that's the last of your contact with them. The law provides that once in a year, you should make a statement of activities. They are not after your profit, they are not after your income, they just want you to make statement of activities stating that we are a going concern, we are in business. So that statement of activity is required to be done once in a year, which is called annual returns. So many, based on lack of awareness, many companies do not know that they are still subject to the commission. So they've ignored the commission in total. Some companies that have been incorporated since the 90s, early 2000, the commission does not know whether they are alive or not, whether they are still doing business, because they've defaulted that law. And once they default that law, there's an automatic penalty on it. So the normal cost you would have paid, if you do it timely for a small company, should not be more than 10,000 naira. Then for business name, it shouldn't be more than 5,000. But when you file late, when you don't do it when you're supposed to do it, it accumulates. So the new release of statements by the Corporate Affairs Commission on the 31st of July is that all those companies, all those businesses that have not come to us once in a year to give us statement of activities, which they call annual return, will at the end of the 60 to 90 days be struck off. And the implication is, if they strike off the name of your company, it's deemed that whatever business or asset you own or whatever money you own in the bank will be restricted. And they have to, the Federal High Court will give an order on it. So to start up again, you will now have to start going through so many rigorous and complex means. So as a business owner, you do the needful timely, it will save you from costly mistakes, expenses, and all. So I believe I made it very clear.
Thank you so much. So my question is around MOU. So anytime I have a contract from a client, I usually give them MOU. So I drafted the MOU. So I got to the point I thought, is the MOU supposed to be legal? Like, do I need to have a personal lawyer who is to check it? Because I was just thinking that mine is just to draft it. I will sign, I will send to the client, that okay, this is what I'm doing for you. To just have this agreement. Thank you.
Yeah, I think the job. I don't want to pay. I think it's you're doing the right thing, but it's not just legal because you don't have a professional to do that. Am I right?
Correct. But let me. I'm sure you already know the answer. But the thing is, oral agreements are binding. You have an agreement with someone, is binding. So MOU is already a written document showing that you have an agreement with someone. It's binding and enforceable in the event that a party breaches it. But however, to ensure that your rights are duly protected, to ensure that you have all the clauses in place, you need an expert. Someone who has gone through the rigorous process of learning how to do the draft to protect you, you need. But in the event that you already have an agreement that has been drafted and signed, you can still meet a lawyer to review it and guide you and to be enforceable.
So is it going to be a stamp on that day?
Yes. See, I know that thing. Thank you. Make the job. You can't teach out everything.
Thank you.
I'm an accountant by profession, so some things I will not let it out. You need to see me, then do business. You understand? So it's normal.
If you want to keep growing, you have to stay in an environment whereby you keep hearing what you need to grow. You keep acquiring more knowledge. As an entrepreneur, good. You need a lawyer to set up your business and ensure that you choose the right legal entity or business entity. Because in the world of business, there are so many complexity that happens. You need to be saved from costly mistakes. You need to be guided. You need to start right. You need to know the right regulatory bodies that will assist you in building a formidable business brand. So if you don't have a lawyer guiding you, helping you to make that decisions, you're likely to make costly mistakes. You're likely not to start right. You're likely to lose your brand identity. Your brand name might not be secured. You might not understand how to navigate legal issues. So you need a lawyer to start your business, to run your business, to grow your business to the next stage. I was here last year and it was a brilliant summit because the quality of facilitators were very excellent. I learned a lot. I always look forward to attending the future summit because I know that I'll be impacted in knowledge. And if you want to keep growing, you have to stay in an environment whereby you keep hearing what you need to grow. Keep acquiring more knowledge. It's a continuous thing. It's a journey. It's not something you start and you stop. So having attended the last one and attending this one, I'm very impressed with the convener of the Future Summit. I'm very impressed because the qualities of the speakers are excellent. The topic is consistency. They shared their own personal experience. They brought their own concepts. They hammered on the importance of consistency. And that is a mindset, is a commitment to continue to deliver excellent results, to continue to put in your best efforts. So based on the topic consistency, my advice for the convener will be to keep on the journey, not to give up. We know that in a world of business where trends come and go, challenges are ever present. It's consistency that will help him to surmount these challenges. Sometimes in business you feel like giving up, but I will also encourage the convener not to give up, to keep the vision alive and to continue to bring in quality guest speakers, quality facilitators to impact knowledge, to empower youths to have the capacity to be an international brand.